Hey guys, today we're taking a look at the CZ P-10C optics ready. Let's get right into the first 30-second breakdown. That's where in the first 30 seconds, give or take, I give you guys my exact thoughts on this product before we get into the full review. That way you can just stop watching because now you know exactly what I think, or you continue watching, find out why I say those things because I do go into more detail and it does help out with the YouTube algorithm and I appreciate it. So with the P-10C, I've had zero malfunctions with this gun with the time that I have had it. The optics cut is nice because I think that's really basically the gold standard for any company that's gonna be coming out with a gun is to come out with a plate system or at least optics ready for your favorite optics. The sights on this are pretty nice. It's got a tritium front sight and then a blacked out back sight. So they're nice, not anything that I wouldn't change. It's probably something, if it was my primary concealed carry gun, I would probably change them to something a little bit better, but they are good sights. The gun itself shoots and feels really nice. I love the trigger on this gun, especially for a stock trigger. It's not anything that's like mind-blowing, but for a stock trigger that comes right out of the box, it is a very good trigger in my mind. The slide serrations are nice because you were able to get a grip on your gun in different ways and being able to manipulate it. The grip texture of the gun is nothing special. It's not pretty much anything that you're used to. If you've ever had a CZ, it's all gonna be the same, like that dot texture. I actually put on some handle-it grips here. As you can see, it's very different texture, so I like this a lot better, and I'm gonna be probably keeping this on here. But the swell and the comfort of the gun feels really nice in my hand. The mags feel durable and seem like good mags. They feed really well. They are 15+1. Other than that, as a whole, I really like this gun and I think it compares really nicely to the other top competitors on the market. So let's go over my relationship with CZ. They did send me this gun. I did not spend my own money on it. They also did provide some ammo for this review. So as always, I just want to be completely transparent with you guys in my relationships with these companies. Other than that, let's get right into the full review. So with the first pros, let's go from the top down to the bottom. The sights on this, like I said, they are good out of the box. I think they work if you wanted to keep them. If I was going to personally conceal carry this and make this my primary and use this daily, I might change them. It's not something I would absolutely have to change, but I would put that on a list of things to change down the road. But it has a blacked out rear sight and then a tritium front sight. So you do have that night sight right there in the front. So now going down, you have the optics cut. Again, this is something I think pretty much every company should be going towards, especially like a plate system or just cutting it for the RMR footprint. What I would really like to see is one footprint be on every single optic so you don't have to constantly pick and choose the footprint you're gonna mill it for. But I really think this is basically gonna be a must-have on pretty much every optic or gun that comes out on the market from now on. Now down to the slide, I think this is a sharp looking slide. It has nice serrations on here without being gaudy and in your face. They are very usable and easy to manipulate this gun. This whole gun as a whole actually is really aesthetically pleasing to me. I mean, honestly, that's going to be a personal preference depending on who you are and if you like the style or not. I really can't speak for you if this is a look that you like, but to me, I think this is a really good looking gun. So now to the frame, I think this is a really comfortable grip. I like the fact that it has a nice swell to it. It fits really nicely in my hand. Now, the only thing I will say is the grip texture. I mean, it's all right. It's nothing that's gonna blow me away. It's not something that I think if it's a gun, you're just gonna put it in your safe and shoot every once in a while or use it a decent amount. It's not anything you have to change, but if you're going to use this gun a lot, I would say probably the grip texture is gonna be something you'll change. And that's why I ended up putting this handle-it grips on here. It just gives me a lot more grip. It's a little more comfortable. And for me, I think it gives me more control of the gun. So the grip textures of CZs isn't something that's ever blown me away. The grip feel and the angles and the design, I think are really nice and feel really good. It's just the texturing. I think they could do a lot better, and I think they could do something a little different. Now the trigger. This is a really nice trigger, especially for a stock one. This is something that I will definitely not be changing. I know there are some nice aftermarket triggers out there, but this one I'm comfortable with and I shoot with it well, and definitely something I don't even want to mess with. Now down to your mags. The mags exit very easily. They slide out good. They don't get hung up on anything. They are metal mags, and I think they run and feed really well. I've had zero malfunctions with this gun. Is really something you're looking for, especially if you want this as a duty or a concealed carry gun. So I've had zero malfunctions with this. Mags have fed really well. This is a 15+1, so they feed in really nicely. I've noticed doing mag changes, I've had any issues hanging up or having any kind of problems sliding them into the actual mag well. So now there's something I want to mention about the slide stock lever. This isn't something that I think that I'm going to put on the pros or the cons, just something I want to mention and let you guys know and be aware of it. So this is a very thin lever, and something that would be more of the con side is it is hard to actually hit and be able to drop your slide. I found myself sometimes not getting it right and then maybe having to go with just being able to rack it like that or just pushing a little bit harder, maybe being a little more conscious and pushing that down. Now the plus side of that is I have a high grip, and when I shoot like Glocks for instance, I have a tendency to ride that slide stop lever and I don't get last round hold on the slide. So for me, it is a benefit because I'm able to get a lot more slide lock on my last round. So that to me is a pro, but when you're doing your reloads, sometimes it can be a little bit hard to grab. So it's got its benefits, but it also kind of has its downsides. So just something I wanted to mention. So now that I went over all those pros and cons, I think this is a really good system. I think CZ has a fantastic platform, and I think it runs really good, it looks good, and it's just a nice gun. It's gonna compete really well with the other guns on the market. So now I'm gonna go over the question I think everybody really asks is, you know, how does this compare to other guns? And one of the bigger ones being Glock. How does this compare? Would I choose this over a Glock? What is better about this over Glock? So let's go over that real quick. First thing you're gonna go over is pricing. Pricing is very comparable to your Glocks and other guns around this realm that are all gonna kind of compete with each other, and that's gonna be at that $500 mark. You might be able to find them a little more expensive or cheaper depending where you look. So for that price range, I think everything that you're getting, this is a very good priced gun, and it does compete really well with everything else on the market. Smith & Wesson on the toilet? Good job, buddy. Hold on. The struggles of filming with a 3 and 1-year-old. All right, let's get back into this. So for those of you that know me, know I shoot Glocks most. It's what I'm most proficient with, it's what I'm most comfortable with, and it's what I shoot the most rounds through. This, I will say, is probably the most comparable platform I've ever switched to. Like say a Smith & Wesson SIG, this is the most similar to a Glock that I've ever had. So if I was ever gonna switch platforms because I'm so comfortable with Glock, this is probably what I'd end up switching to because it's very similar to me, and the ergonomics and how it functions, how it shoots is just something that I'm really comfortable with. And I found when I was switching this and shooting and testing this, I was just really comfortable with this platform. Now going along with that is this actually fits in a lot of Glock holsters as well. So if you have a lot of Glock holsters and you don't want to switch holsters, you might be able to try this out and see if it fits those. And that's always just a nice benefit, is not having to buy a ton of new things. So that is one, the only thing about testing a bunch of different guns is I have just tons and tons of holsters downstairs for every different gun that I've tested. So it's definitely a nice thing when one of these guns actually fits in a holster you already have. So kind of a nice pro. It doesn't fit all of them, but the majority that I have tried, this does fit in them. Now to answer the big question of Glock 19 or CZ P-10C. Now you guys might not like my answer, but this is really just gonna be a personal preference. These guns have a lot of comparable features. I think both of these platforms run pretty much flawlessly. They have a lot of really nice features straight from the box. They're very customizable, easy to upgrade with things that you wanna do. This one in my mind has the better trigger out of the two. But other than that, they're very similar, and the fact that you can just really customize them any way you want to, especially nowadays with all the upgrades there are for these types of guns. So realistically, it's gonna be a personal preference. Get a hold of both of them, get your hands on these guns, shoot them, and find out for yourself. They're gonna feel a little bit different, especially if you're somebody that hasn't really shot either of them that much. They're gonna feel different. You can find which one fits your hand best, which one you shoot more comfortably with, and then go with that. So I don't really think there is an answer to that. I don't think there's one answer that I can be like, well, Glock's the better one, and you go with that, or hey, this is the one. And I don't think it's gonna fit for everyone. I think everyone has different hands, different comfortabilities, different thoughts, different what they like and what looks good. I think that always goes into things, aesthetically pleasing things. And if you don't like the look of something, you might not be drawn to that. So it's not definitely everything. The way the gun functions is always key number one, but looks is another thing. So it's gonna be a personal preference on you to decide which one you like best. I don't think you can personally go wrong with either one. I would trust my life with this. I would carry this. I would trust my life with a Glock, and I do carry the Glock every day for concealed carry and at work. So definitely do think this is a fantastic platform, and I think you can't go wrong with either one. But so far, I've been really happy with this P-10C, and I'm really excited to see the different things I want to do with this. I want to make a project out of this and do something cool with it. I just haven't decided yet. I've kept it stock for a really long time because I wanted to film the video while it was still stock. But now that the video is filmed, we might have some fun with it and see what we're going to do. So if you guys have any ideas, give me some inspiration. Let me know what I should do with this gun, and we'll go from there. So other than that, guys, thank you so much for sticking around. I really hope this makes you be able to make a decision better if you want this or if you want to stay away from it and go something else. That's my goal in all these videos, is to be able to give you guys information that I found after testing something, and then help you be able to make a better purchase decision for yourself. I don't ever want to sway you one way or the other and say, oh, you have to do this. It's because I said so. I'm just giving you the information. Do what you want with that information, and hopefully you can make a better purchase decision and be happy with that. So if you want to help out the channel, the things I do here, there's a couple ways to do that. Down in the description, there are some discount codes from companies that I trust you can use to save out some money, and along with a link to my website from there, you can use other links like Brownells, Air Precision, Premier Body Armor. Anything you purchase using those links does help out the channel a ton, and it helps support me, and I appreciate that so much. Especially nowadays with ammo costs is absolutely ridiculous. So it's always a big help when companies like this support me by allowing to provide some ammo, which is always a really nice thing. So thank you, CZ, for doing that, and that helps a ton with the testing process. Other than that, guys, thank you so much. I've got a lot of projects coming along. This is this multi-cam gun that Victor's Legacy did for me is absolutely beautiful. Love that. If you guys want to see a full video on that, let me know. This is the 300 Blackout that I just finished. Pretty close to being done. I'm probably going to switch out the brace, maybe the flashlight setup, but so far, really like this. Going to be doing a video on the integrated suppressor inside the rail. I'm going to try to burn down a bunch of rounds through this and see how hot it gets and if this is a good idea or not. I did it because I think it looks way better and it gives me a lot more real estate to work with, but I really have heard little things here and there about the heat of the suppressor could get bad with the handguard being like this. So I'm going to do some testing on that. It's going to be expensive because burning down like 100 to 200 rounds of 300 Blackout is going to get a little ridiculous because 300 Blackout is stupid expensive, but I just bought 900 rounds the other day and plans of doing that video. So look out for that. And then guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Glocks. Come here, buddy.
I know this is can't work.
Come here.
Why do you need a phone on there?
That's my video camera.